Hello everyone, I'm Xiaogan. ADT2 new small feature. Then I'll first explain what weakness attack, critical attack, finishing blow. Critical attack is when it triggers multiple damage. Weakness attack is when you attack the enemy's weakness. Weakness attack is already completed by Lyra. The other feature is the interaction between attributes. Now let's demonstrate the effect. Now you can see the attribute panel. In the top left corner thing. Currently, the equipment attributes haven't been added in, however, this attribute is already related to combat. Actually, this place can control our critical hits, as well as the damage of our critical hit. Of course, our current health has been updated to 300. This is our second feature. So let's first look at the critical hit rate and critical hit damage. For example, we attack him here. The zombie should have 500 health, thing, so it's still quite hard. If we trigger a critical hit, it turns purple. Purple means a critical hit has been triggered. Then if we hit the head, our target triggers a weakness attack, which is double damage. As you can see here, if we hit the head and trigger a critical hit, it's actually a killing blow, so it turns black. It's just a simple feature. But he now has a lot of health points. Pick up some ammunition. This is the two functions we are demonstrating to everyone. Then these two functions still need to be improved. Because, as mentioned earlier, the second function we will use data tiler to record the character's basic attributes. Here we will use a data and temporarily used map will be modified later. In fact, our ideal result is still to make it an Excel. This allows for flexible editing thing. Because I currently only have a few characters just for testing. Once there are more character roles, you'll have to go to each character and click on them. To change this attribute, it's actually quite painful. Moreover, when you need to change many attributes, when you need to do a comparative analysis, it's also quite painful. So for testing purposes now, we use this data structure. Okay, good thing. So let's take a look again. This critical hit and this critical hit chance, how to implement changing it. Actually, in this place, we have provided many fields. This attribute represents the critical hit chance. We adjust this percentage a bit. Set it to 0.8. Then we change the damage multiplier to 1. In reality, it's now double. We change it to 2.5. So it's actually changed to 2, think. So actually his current damage is 3 times now. Because his base damage multiplier is 1 May. Then after critical hit, it's 2 times. Combined, it's 3 times. Now let's take a look. You can also see 可. This damage has indeed become 3 times, right? Okay, we can also continue to modify the monster's defense value. Temporarily increase the defense value by 2 points. Of course, the formula here may also need to be adjusted. You can see his base damage thing already became 26, tripling is 78. Actually, this involves a damage conversion formula. Think. This definitely also needs to be iterated. Because I initially planned to write dozens of attributes, think. Later I found it too slow. Because you, a property, need to run through a process. Need to write a lot of code. So we'll first use only the most core physical attack, physical defense, critical strike damage. These attributes are sufficient. That's it for the demonstration. Think.